Last week, the Lake Orion Community Schools Board of Education met. We'll bring you highlights of their meeting.
Township board meetings have begun airing live on Channel 67, and village council meetings will follow soon.
How often do you see a Red Wings goalie score a goal like this?
The American Diabetes Association has information to find out if you're in the high-risk group.
Hello, I'm Joe Johnson.
And I'm Lori St. Germain.
Stay tuned for our very first production of News 65.
ONTV studio in Lake Orion, this is News 65 with Joe Johnson, Lori St. Germain, and the rest of the News 65 team.
On Wednesday, March 9th, the Lake Orion Community Schools Board of Education met to tackle an agenda full of items of interest. The meeting began with a presentation by PTO members pleading for a new elementary school. Carpenter Elementary School PTO President Carol Ben-Gesser presented petitions signed by over 2,000 members of the community to the board. The petitions called for a bond election to build a new elementary school. In response to the community's pleas, the board voted to place the issue on the ballot in a September election.
Well, what we actually had happen was a group of parents have gone out there and shown us that there is the support in the community that they do need and want a new elementary school, and that they will get out and vote it. And that's what we were really looking for, because of the last bond issue going down to defeat. We said we were not going to put it back on the ballot until we knew the desire was there and the support was there.
Yeah, this was particularly rewarding because this was a move that came from parents themselves. So we will include parents and citizens of the community in all of the steps along the way, because we really need now to design the needs of the district more fully. In the meantime, I'll be working with school district attorneys for the bonding portion and state officials.
Despite the fact the issue has been placed on the ballot, the work of the PTO hasn't come to an end.
Oh no, we're just beginning. We're going to continue to gather more support. We have 2,000 now. We hope to maybe get another 2,000 or even higher before September. So we'll continue approaching people, providing them with the information that they need to make a sound decision about the schools.
At that same meeting, the board also voted to restructure the school week beginning with the 94-95 school year. The restructuring allows the teachers to have a professional development day, a concept that has been successful in other school systems.
The teachers are all in classes, all but 1 hour of the day, so we have 1/6 of our staff available to work together at any point in time. And after school, we were working until 4, 5 o'clock at night, several nights a week, and then going home to correct papers and plan for the next day. So teachers were saying there's got to be a better way to do this.
The changes that will take place include school days ending at 2:30 p.m., 20 minutes later than normal. Wednesday mornings, teachers will arrive at 7:30 a.m. Students will not arrive until 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday mornings. This will allow teachers to discuss and work on school improvements, curriculum work, and the integration of various courses.
So it's a continuous, consistent process whereby we can look at and answer the concerns of the government and the community in terms of changing as we need to.
As we look at business and industry, and we try to take our lead from them many times, that is the kind of thing they're doing. They're spending more dollars and providing more opportunities for their employees to learn new and better skills. We think we need to do that with our teaching staff.
Among other items discussed at the meeting was a proposal for year-round schooling. The board took no action on the year-round school concept, but have agreed to study it. If you would like to express your comments on any of these issues, contact your local school or call the superintendent's office at 693-5413.
Just when parents seem to be complaining about the quality of programming on television, cable channel 67, the government access channel, offers something to hopefully provide what families are longing for. Township board meetings have begun airing live on channel 67, and village council meetings will be airing soon. The broadcast is the result of 2 years of research and planning by the Orion Cable Commission and its access board.
For one thing, the first thing we've shown so far is an impact on the council members themselves. They've seen themselves now, you know, from the tapes and that. They're aware that they're on stage, and I don't mean that negatively. I mean the fact that we notice that they dress a little sharper. They seem to be a little more alert to each other, and so forth, and they seem to be a little more prepared to debate and be communicative with the people that come to attend the meeting.
The equipment is operated by volunteers who have graduated from video production classes at the TCI Cablevision's Public Access Studio. The township meetings take place on the first and third Monday of each month at 7 p.m. The village council meetings are held the second and fourth Monday of each month at 7:30. Currently, steps are being taken to rebroadcast the meetings later that same week.
I think it's an excellent idea because a lot of people probably can't make it out, and at times when the weather is inclement, they can stay home and still see the meetings, so know what's going on.
Why? I guess it's because it's what the people would like to see. I would like to see the public become more involved in what's going on in a township, and I think this is the way to do it.
More volunteers are being sought to operate the Village Hall video equipment. If you're interested, contact our OCTV studio at 693-3377.
Last Friday, business leaders from throughout Oakland County met in Troy for the 5th annual Employment Law Update. Representatives of the law firm of Dickinson, Wright, Moon, Van Dusen, and Freeman presented facts about employment law and recent changes that have taken place, such as the Family Medical Leave Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act. The all-day event was sponsored by the Council of Chambers of Commerce of Oakland County.
Well, we want all our employers in Oakland County to be as up-to-date as they can on the new employment law. It's very important. There's a lot of things that come down every year in terms of legislation about how you treat your employees or how you hire them or fire them or all that line of thing, and we try to keep our people up to date. That's one of the things the Chamber tries to do.
In addition to recent changes, attorney Henry Sod and his colleagues also discussed privacy rights, sexual harassment, health issues, and hiring and firing practices.
Well, when judgments by juries are in the $1 million range and hundreds of thousands of dollars, the biggest benefit is knowing the law so you can avoid the problems and maintaining a good, productive workforce and at the same time avoiding major litigation, so that you try to do both.
Orion Area Chamber of Commerce meetings take place on the first Thursday of each month. For information on membership, call Pamela Boyd at 693-3232.
Approximately 7 million people in the U.S. have diabetes and don't know it, and that's why the American Diabetes Association is sponsoring the Diabetes Alert. The awareness campaign takes place on March 22nd and is intended to educate the community on the seriousness of diabetes. The biggest part of the effort is to get a pamphlet out to the community that includes a quiz. The Diabetes Association is depending on a number of sources to get the pamphlet out.
And we've had a good response from the hospitals, as we have in the past. And we've got about 70 hospitals this year in Michigan that are participating. And then the state of Michigan is going to be distributing the test to all their employees. So that's about 60,000 employees in the payroll envelope. So it's a payroll stuffer. And then we're working with some corporations, working with Dow Chemical, we're working with Aetna Life Insurance, we're working with Franklin Bank, BASF, companies like that to get the word out. And then of course the media plays a giant, really a tremendous role.
Those with the highest risk of getting diabetes include African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, people who are overweight, and those who have a family history of diabetes. There are some other surprising facts about diabetes.
As far as what would surprise people, I think that it's the 4th leading cause of death by disease in the United States, particularly with women. Twice as many women died last year from diabetes than from breast cancer. So that might be startling. It is a real serious disease. And a lot of people think because there is a treatment like insulin available for many, that it's a cure, but when in fact it is a treatment, it's not a cure.
Symptoms of diabetes include unusual thirst and hunger, unusual weight loss, extreme fatigue and irritability. These symptoms may sound pretty common, but if you suspect you may have diabetes, you are encouraged to get it checked out. Complications from diabetes going unchecked include blindness, kidney disease, amputations, and strokes.
On Sunday, March 6th, the Rochester area JCs laced up their skates to do battle with the alumni of the Detroit Red Wings. It wasn't pretty, but it benefited a great cause. Ian Young got the event started by dropping the puck. Ian has a terminal illness and has benefited from the efforts of the Rainbow Connection, the organization benefiting from the hockey game.
That's generally what we do, is raise funds for these kids to grant them their wishes. And we don't have a big board where it takes months to grant a wish. It's a non-red tape Help the Kids program, and it's run beautifully by Suzanne Jones and all her staff.
Though the Wings seemed to catch the JCs flat-footed throughout most of the game, the JCs did their best to make it a game, having WJR sportscaster Frank Beckman in goal for the Wings helped out a bit.
These guys, I'm hearing from what I'm hearing from the locker room, these guys are a lot younger than some of us. And they've scored more goals tonight than in their entire NHL careers. Most of these games are fun, and we come out to have fun, and they got a few guys out there today like Frank Beckman, who there again is another guy, a lot like every individual in this room, putting their time in for charity and for the community, and we're having some fun out there. We're trying to shoot a few pucks at Frank and hit him, and we have a good time. We play no hit, no slap shot hockey, and the whole thing is to have some fun so that people that come here and pay their $2 or whatever it is for the gate can sit up in the stands and laugh and enjoy it. It's just a fun afternoon.
The final score was 14-7 in favor of the Wings, of course, but the end result everyone will remember is the money raised through ticket sales, program ad sales, and raffles.
An event like this means more to an organization than just the money. Certainly that helps because we need that money to raise funds. But it also helps raise public awareness. Al Dietrich, a tremendous supporter of the Rainbow, talking about it, keeps it evidenced in front of him all the time. Roxanne Bryan, the JCs. People need to know about this organization more than one event. We also need to make families whose children have life-threatening illnesses, that there's an organization out there for them that will make a tremendous difference in their lives.
Just like to thank lots and lots of people who have worked on this for months. Scott Hunter of the Rochester JCs, and all of obviously the Red Wing alumni who do a number of these games throughout the year, all to benefit charities, and all of our Rainbow volunteers, all the volunteers from the JCs.
The Rainbow Connection was founded in 1980 by L. Brooks Patterson to grant the wishes of terminally ill children. Their next big fundraiser will take place on March 17th. The Shamrock Ball will be held at the State Theater in Detroit. Call 651-1261 for more information.
During the first week in March, the American Cancer Society held their 9th annual Great American LockUp. Normally outstanding citizens found out what it's like to be wanted criminals. In Troy, one of the 14 jail sites throughout the metropolitan Detroit area, individuals were brought in before a so-called judge. They were sentenced to raise bail, which will benefit the Cancer Society. Kenneth Morris was turned in by his employees at NBD for lack of motivation at work.
I was brought here. I didn't come here. I was brought here, and I was put in front of a phone and told to dial and get money. And I was given a bail of $350. When the judge found out I worked at a bank, he raised it to $450, and I was able to raise $525. So.
Oh, it's been fun. I resisted arrest, so they increased my bail, and so I've been calling everybody that I know. It's really been a good experience. It's much better than being in the office this morning, for sure. I didn't think that it would be as fun as this was.
Over $700,000 was raised through the efforts in Metro Detroit. More than $50,000 alone was raised at the Troy Jail, which is a new site this year. Karen Murphy is the Public Affairs Director for the American Cancer Society and was acting judge during the event. She said Oakland County is an area the Cancer Society has come to rely on.
There's a lot of caring people here, and we draw from this area, and it seems like cancer has touched just about everybody's family that's in the jail right now. If you go around and ask them, they all have a story about 1 in 4 actually is the families that get touched by cancer. So I think there's a personal heart-to-heart reason for being here.
The money raised in the nationwide event goes towards cancer research, cancer patients, and their families.
This past Saturday, 6 teams of 5th graders went head-to-head at the Orion Township Public Library for the 9th annual Battle of the Books. Each student was given the task of reading 10 books over a 4-month period. Then they arrived at the library to have their knowledge tested on each book.
Our reason for having it is to get these 5th graders back into the library. We lose them about 4th, 5th, 6th graders. They don't come to the library unless they absolutely have to for information. So we want them to come and read for change and have some fun.
At the end of the contest, the students representing Pine Tree Elementary came out on top. Each student will receive a certificate, an engraved dictionary, his or her name on a plaque to be hung in the library, and of course bragging rights for about a year.
It wasn't really hard. We practiced a lot. First of all, I didn't know the tables were so close, and the questions weren't as hard as I thought they would be.
Well, it was very nerve-wracking. It taught me that I can read more books than I usually do.
It was fun, and it got me to read more books.
Well, before this, I didn't usually like to read, and after this, I'm every day I want to read a chapter of a book or something.
I've learned that there are different kinds of books, and some of them are better than others, and that just because it's science fiction doesn't mean that a girl can't read it and stuff.
The next event you can look forward to at the Township Public Library is a visit by children's author-illustrator David Small. That takes place on March 24th at 7 p.m.
The Orion Art Center has exhibits come and go, but the exhibit on display through the end of this week is pretty special. Hanging on the walls of the Art Center is the work of young students who take art classes at the center. Many students, beginning at age 10 years old, take 4 weeks of classes. The classes cover drawing with colored pencils and graphite.
I have students that have an attention span of an hour to an hour and a half, and they have very keen observation skills and perceptual skills for their age. And they're usually the type of child that draws all the time. And their parents will hear about me and call me and say, I have a child who wants to learn how to draw. And I teach them technical adult drawing skills. And it's obvious they're perfectly capable of learning.
The 15-year-old center constantly changes its exhibits. Last year there were 14. And not only are you invited to view the artwork, but to make a purchase as well.
Well, the children's art, of course, is not for sale. But yes, all of it. We have wonderful artists in North Oakland County, and we always have work for sale. Yeah, all the time.
The next display will consist of artwork made entirely of recycled materials. The classes aren't only geared for children. Families, students, and seniors are welcome as well. Call 693-4187 for more information.
A couple of years ago, an attorney named Stuart Mandel took an idea to an organization called Birmingham Bloomfield Families in Action, who in turn took the idea to the state legislature. The result of those efforts has made March Parenting Awareness Month. It started out as Parenting Awareness Week 2 years ago. Last year it became Parenting Awareness Month, and the goal is to promote information about the critical importance of parenting, to promote parenting education and resources, and to encourage locally planned events. There are a number of events scheduled to take place in Oakland County throughout March, including an AIDS display at Cranbrook geared toward educating families, and James Wendell of the Oakland Press will speak at the Oakland Psychological Clinic in Bloomfield Hills about practical discipline. There are also a number of publications available with information about parenting. Call 352-0990 to find out how you can get a copy of Parenting Magazine, which has valuable information and a calendar of events. The Miller Family Foundation offers a free book called Parenting for Prevention. All you have to do is call area code 404-299-5591. The Information Center in Lansing offers a catalog of written materials dealing with parenting issues. Call 1-800-626-INFO.
In Lake Orion, I wanted to point out that Orion Area Youth Assistance is a resource for parents and for kids. They provide, I think it's one of the best resources we have throughout the county. There's an office in each local school district area, and there's a caseworker that is in that office that provides free counseling and referral services to kids and their parents. And also there's a volunteer committee that plans parenting programs and a PLUS program, which is like a Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and a number of other things.
The Orion Area Youth Assistance Center is looking for volunteers to help plan Parenting Month activities. If you're interested, please call them at 693-6978. And with that, we'll wrap up our very first edition of News 65. We hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you for watching.
Good night.